Sydney Grammar School is an independent, non-denominational, day school for boys, located in Darlinghurst, Edgecliff and St Ives, all suburbs of Sydney, Australia. Incorporated in 1854 by Act of Parliament and opened in 1857, the school claims to offer a classical or grammar school education thought of as liberal, humane, pre-vocational pedagogy. Sydney Grammar School currently has an enrolment of approximately 1841 students from kindergarten to year 12, over 3 campuses. The 2 preparatory schools are located at Edgecliff in Sydney's eastern suburbs, and St Ives on the upper North Shore. The historic College Street campus caters for students from Forms I to VI and is in Darlinghurst, close to the Sydney Central Business District. The school is affiliated with the Association of Heads of Independent Schools of Australia, the Junior School Heads Association of Australia, the Headmasters and Headmistresses Conference, and is a founding member of the Athletic Association of the Great Public Schools of New South Wales. In 2001, the Sun Herald ranked Sydney Grammar School 10th in Australia's top 10 boys' schools, based on the number of its alumni mentioned in the Who's Who in Australia. History. Foundation. The Sydney Public Free Grammar School opened in 1825 with Lawrence Hines Halloran, born County Meath, Ireland, as headmaster. Halloran had operated a private school in Exeter, England, but fled England in 1796 due to debts and after being accused of immorality. It subsequently emerged that his degrees were self-awarded. He eventually returned to Britain but was arrested for forgery and transported to the penal colony of New South Wales. Arriving there in 1819, he was immediately granted a ticket of leave. In 1830, Sydney College was founded. Sir Francis Forbes, Chief Justice of New South Wales, became president of the college and laid the foundation stone of the present building in College Street on 26 January 1830. In 1835, Sydney College opened in this building with W.T. Cape as headmaster. In 1842, he resigned and was succeeded by T.H. Brame. In 1850, Sydney College was closed. In 1854, Sydney Grammar School was incorporated by an Act of Parliament and acquired the land and building in College Street which had been temporarily occupied by the newly founded University of Sydney in 1852. It was opened on 3 August 1857, specifically as a feeder school for the university. The Preamble of the Sydney Grammar School Act 1854 states that it is deemed expedient for the better advancement of religion and morality and the promotion of useful knowledge to establish in Sydney a public school for conferring on all classes and denominations of Her Majesty's subjects resident in the colony of New South Wales without any distinction whatsoever the advantages of a regular and liberal course of education. The Act provides that the trustees of the school shall consist of 12 persons, of whom 6 shall be persons holding the following offices respectively: the Honourable the Attorney General of New South Wales, the Honourable the President of the New South Wales Legislative Council, the Honourable the Speaker of the New South Wales Legislative Assembly, the Chancellor of the University of Sydney, the Principal Professor of Classics of the University of Sydney, the Senior Professor of Mathematics of the University of Sydney. The Act also provides that the Governor of New South Wales shall be the official visitor of the school. Site history. Sydney Grammar School is the oldest school still in use in the city of Sydney, and is also historically significant as the site on which the University of Sydney began. The school also holds scientific significance as containing examples of early building materials and techniques in pre-Federation Australia. The site was founded as the Sydney College in 1830. and the following year began operations in a new building in Hyde Park designed by Edward Hallin. It consisted of a single large room with basement rooms beneath. Sydney College continued despite financial difficulties until 1853, when it was taken over by the fledgling University of Sydney until such time as the present Groves Farm site was ready for occupation. The site was then sold in 1856 to the trustees of the newly incorporated Sydney Grammar School, which had been established and endowed with a building fund by Act of Parliament. Edmund Blackett was commissioned to design extensions to the south and north of the Hallin building, which were completed in 1856 and 1857 respectively. The Big School building became central to the colonial architect James Barnett's vision for the cultural focus of Sydney town. The War Memorial Wing, named for its position behind Big School's monument to the Great War, was built at the northern end of Big School in 1953 by the Scott brothers, at the cost of its double staircase. In 1876, the main building was extended to the east by Mansfield brothers, and this extension was itself extended to the north and south in 1899 by John W. Manson. The science classrooms on Stanley Street were built in 1889–90. Other early buildings on the site, now demolished, included the Sergeant's Lodge, an ablutions block on Stanley Street, and a former postal sorting office on Yarong Street. Today, Sydney Grammar is a private school. Each year, up to 26 full scholarships are offered to boys who show academic promise and who perform well in the scholarship examination. Currently, it is regarded as one of the most academically proficient private schools in NSW and performs consistently well in the higher school certificate, $31,419 per annum. Sydney Grammar is located near the Sydney Central Business District. The campus is compact and consists of multi-storey buildings in a concrete landscape setting. Sydney Grammar is situated on the eastern side of Sydney's Hyde Park, next to the Australian Museum, and extends from College Street to Yarong Street. The designs of the school's buildings illustrate many different architectural eras. Big School, the Blackett Buildings, the original Science Building, the Science Laboratory Block, the Palladium Building, the Stanley Street Building and Alistair McCarris Theatre, and the A.B. Banjo Patterson Library. Wagle, the school's sports ground, is located at Rushcutters Bay next to the Edgecliff Preparatory School and includes tennis courts, cricket nets and 3 fields for cricket, rugby and football. It is routinely used for Saturday sports matches, physical education and as a recreational area for Grammar's Edgecliff Preparatory School next door. There is also a large gymnasium at College Street and full rowing facilities at the school's boat shed at Gladesville. In May 2005, Headmaster John Vallance announced that the school would lead a consortium to purchase 30 Almas and Paddington, known as White City, from Tennis New South Wales, thus extending the Wagle grounds substantially. In 2006, development applications to subdivide the White City tennis courts were lodged with Woollahra Council to develop the site to accommodate more tennis and basketball courts. These were subsequently passed. On the 14th of June 2008, the new field, now known as Wagle 4, was opened with a range of guests including Mr. Frank Lowy, President of Football Federation Australia. In 2009, the school began the construction of a new underground multi-purpose hall featuring a seating capacity of over 1,500 seats, now called the New Hall. Completed in August 2011, it was primarily designed to accommodate the entirety of the current students and teaching staff under one roof while being acoustically sound for orchestral performances. Notably, the hall is unique as it has been built beneath the playground and is substantially subterranean as a result. Much of the naturally occurring Sydney sandstone has been left in place, which adds to the aesthetic and acoustic value of the space. The hall was officially opened by the headmaster on the 18th of August 2011 with a substantive celebratory concert featuring performances from a large number of grammar boys past and present. The new hall is now used by the 2 preparatory schools as well. Headmasters. The current headmaster of Sydney Grammar School is Dr. John T. Vallance. Dr. Vallance attended St John's College, Cambridge, and was later a Fellow of Gonville and Caius College, Cambridge, at which time he wrote The Lost Theory of Asclepiades of Bithynia, which is cited by a number of other histories of philosophy and of medicine. Dr. Vallance is also the author of the entries on medicine and anthropology in the Oxford Classical Dictionary. Dr. Vallance succeeded Dr. Ralph Townsend in his role as headmaster. After a period at Tyndall School, Dr. Townsend is now headmaster of Winchester College, England. Structure. Sydney Grammar has a total enrolment of approximately 1,833 boys across years K-12. In Term 3 of 2006, the main high school campus had an enrollment of 1,109 boys in Forms IV. The main high school is divided into the lower school and the upper school. There are also 2 preparatory schools, one at St Ives in the northern suburbs and the other at Edgecliff in the eastern suburbs. Each year, approximately 2/3 of the incoming form at College Street are from the 2 preparatory schools, while the rest are drawn from schools in Sydney, from interstate and overseas. Curriculum. Sydney Grammar offers a liberal, pre-vocational type education, and this is reflected in its academic structure and subject choices. The academic departments are classics, design and technology, economics, English, geography, history, mathematics, modern languages, music, physical education, science, visual arts. Subjects offered for the higher school certificate include English Advanced, English Extension 1, English Extension 2, Mathematics, Mathematics Extension 1, Mathematics Extension 2, Chemistry, Physics, Biology, Earth and Environmental Science, Geography, Modern History, Ancient History, History Extension, Economics, Latin, Latin Extension, Classical Greek Extension, French Continuous, French Extension, Italian Continuous, Italian Extension, German Continuous, German Extension, Chinese Continuous, Chinese Extension, Japanese Beginners, Music 1, Music 2, Music Extension, Visual Art, PDHPE, Design and Technology and Studies of Religion, Sanskrit and special academic courses are offered as non-HSC subjects. The special academic courses previously included a Form V course in Extension Chemistry and Physics and a Form V course in Lagrangian Dynamics and Quantum Mechanics. They are currently centered around 19th-century Russian literature, with a focus on the works of Pushkin and Dostoevsky, with a smaller study of Chekhov and Nikolai Gogol. Co-curriculum. Music. SGS has won the AMEB Music Shield 10 times in the past 11 years. 2/3 of pupils in the school play a musical instrument or are involved with music in some way. SGS boasts scores of musical groups in mostly classical, chamber and jazz styles. The school orchestra has received wide acclaim and frequently engages in both national and international tours. Grammar's choir program involves hundreds of students, old boys, and parents participating in its many annual concerts. The school's senior a cappella group is known as the Gramophones and is composed of the best tenors, basses and baritones in the senior years. Recently, SGS has embarked on a 5-year program entitled Bach 2010, in which all the known choral cantatas of Johann Sebastian Bach will be performed in a series of concerts between 2005 and 2010. Sydney Grammar is one of the few institutions in the world seeking to engage in such an exercise and is aided by the Manda organ in the Big School. Under the current headmaster, an organic rock and amp roll movement has emerged and is currently thriving. The end of 2004 saw the consummation of years of practice in the first Grammarpalooza rock concert, which included the musical style of old boy band. Dappled Cities Fly Sports. Sydney Grammar School is a member of the Athletic Association of the Great Public Schools of NSW. GPS sporting events are contested in rugby union, football, cricket, tennis, volleyball, cross-country, basketball, rowing, swimming, athletics, rifle shooting, and debating. The school also competes in fencing and chess competitions. Grammar participates in the annual Tri-Grammar competitions, a series of cricket competitions between the first teams of Sydney Grammar School, Melbourne Grammar School and Brisbane Grammar School. Sydney and Melbourne Grammar School also compete for the bat in the same competition. The Sydney-Melbourne match dates back to 1876, and in 1976, to mark the centenary of this rivalry, a bat was struck, with the winner of the annual match taking possession. The bat was donated by John Crawford, the father of the captain of the 1976 Premiership-winning side, Andrew Crawford. Grammar was the first Sydney school to take to the water in 1878 at a time when there were only a handful of senior rowing clubs in existence on Sydney Harbour and its reaches. Competition in rowing culminates in the Riverview Gold Cup for junior crows and the Head of the River for senior crows. Grammar's boat shed is on the Parramatta River at Gladesville. On the 2nd of April 2011, the Sydney Grammar School First 8 won the Major Rennie Trophy at the AAGPS Head of the River. The win was significant for Grammar as it heralded the return of the trophy to the school for the first time in more than 30 years. Extracurricular. The school has numerous clubs and societies for students. Notable examples include Australian Air Force Cadets, Australian Army Cadets, Creative Writing Club, run by notable author John Hughes, Tea Enjoyment and Appreciation Society, founded in 2015 by Oliver Theodore Thomas Watson, and run by notable author and master Sian Alexandra Eleanor Evans. A number of boys also assist in editing the school's yearly almanac, The Sydneyan, over 400 editions of which have been produced since 1875. Overseas tours. The school offers its students the opportunity to attend various overseas tours for educational and cultural exchanges. The school has partnerships with some of the top schools around the world in cities such as Paris, Shanghai and Florence, which students can visit for a period of between 3 and 12 weeks as a supplement for the linguistic studies in addition to the time spent at the school. The boys also get the opportunity to travel around the respective countries on a cultural trip, accompanied by teachers. There are also frequent sporting tours overseas, such as in Brazil for soccer, England for rugby and Japan for volleyball, where the students can participate in matches against foreign teams and sometimes even train with and watch professional sports teams play. The school also offers tours for science, geography and history to areas such as the Galapagos to study evolution, or to the Kokoda Tract to follow in the footsteps of the Anzacs. Notable alumni. Alumnus of Sydney Grammar School are commonly referred to as Old Boys or Old Sydneyans, and may elect to join the school's alumni association, the Old Sydneyans Union. In 2001, the Sun Herald ranked Sydney Grammar Grammar School 10th in Australia's top 10 boys' schools, based on the number of its alumni mentioned in the Who's Who in Australia. Notable alumni include Sir Edmund Barton, the first Prime Minister of Australia; Sir William McMahon, 20th Prime Minister of Australia; Malcolm Turnbull, 29th and current Prime Minister of Australia; Bruce Gyngell, first person to appear on Australian television; Andrew Boy Charlton, an Olympic gold medalist swimmer, and also Banjo Paterson, bush poet and balladist, and author of The Man from Snowy River and Waltzing Matilda, and who now has a library in the school named after him.